It's Artisan MC, and today we're going to talk about HBO's Watchmen. Okay, so I just finished watching this first episode of this, and I will tell you I wasn't that interested in it initially. You know, I really liked Watchmen. Watchmen was one of those books that stands at a pretty perfect position, you know. If you saw my Joker review, you understand that some things I don't think need a sequel. They don't need a sequel to. And Watchmen is one of those books. It told its story. It stood on its own. Even the creator doesn't want to see any sequels or anything like that. That's why Alan Moore's name is not on a lot of this stuff, even the movie that came out, because he's not in favor of it. He did his piece. That's the story he wanted to tell. That was it, and he was done with it. But because it made so much money, other people still want to make money off of it too. So they keep recycling or putting it back out. So I wasn't into this, you know, on that note. The Watchmen was good. I don't want to see a ridiculous spinoff. You know, I kind of balked at the before Watchmen comics that came out when they put the movie out. But all in all, it wasn't that terrible. This, when I heard that HBO was doing it and then the original creator still was not on board with it, I was like, no, because that's his baby. What are you doing? But about a week ago, I did see a trailer from the Watchmen series. And I saw Chocolate Lovely Self, Regina King in it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was trying to see where they were going with this. I didn't know what was going on with the story because I just unplugged from it completely to begin with. So I didn't know what was going on with the story, what the setting was. I knew it was in the Watchmen universe. Didn't know if it was happening after the events of the movie or the comic or where they were going with it. I really didn't care. I wasn't going to watch it. But I got a little bit of a prodding from BGS that I needed to look at this. So I went ahead and watched the first episode, and I was kind of blown away by it. It was not what I was thinking the new theme of things is to put a female character out front and then push the whole show off of that. It didn't seem like that in the first episode, which means that this first episode of Watchmen did a lot better than the first episode of Batwoman, which wasn't overly terrible either. So, seeing that, I was kind of taken aback by some of the stuff that I saw in there. And not in a bad way. I was just not prepared for what I saw. I wasn't. And that's surprising for me because I usually go into these things with pretty low expectations. If they actually recorded it in color, that's a win for them, you know. If there's actual English dialogue, that's 2 points, you know. So my expectations for a lot of these things are really low, so as I can get the story they're trying to tell me and not bring to it a boatload of expectations that I'm expecting just off the rip, which will make me not like it at all if they don't hit, you know, those 50,000 points all in one sitting. So the opening with the what I understand was the Tulsa, Oklahoma cleansing raid, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I thought that shit was Rosewood at a point because that's what it was conjuring up in my mind of scenes of. Is like, you know, these people went in there and just start killing these black people. And I wasn't understanding exactly why they were discriminating on which ones they were killing, but at that point it really doesn't fucking matter. It's like an inversion is what I was taking this as, that a lot of things were flip-flopped in this. What you would traditionally see happening to white people or black people was inverted. So you were getting a different feel on it altogether. But this burning and this bombing of this black town, oh no, that was straight out of a history book. If you actually got that history, not from regular school. You know, so that was stark. And the starkest thing in it was that even though it's HBO, they fucking were going there. They went there. You know, people getting shot, women getting shot, white dudes out there blowing people away, setting black folks on fire, getting drugged through the streets and shit. It's like all the recipes of something that would really trigger some people, you know. But at the end of through all of that, you get the point of the introduction of this child, this boy, and you follow him. You get to meet his mother and his father and see that they leave him with some friends to escape this town because they're not going to be able to get out. They're not. They write a note on a piece of paper and stick it in his pocket and send him on his way, hiding in the trunk. And what you end up seeing is that the boy doesn't make it that far out of town. The truck gets caught in an explosion and flips over, and he wakes up that evening out in the field. The people who were driving the truck dead on the side, and he's a little hurt too. And near him, what he hears crying is a baby that he picks up. And when he picks up the baby, you can see in the background this town, Tulsa, just burning, just in fucking flames. And even now I'm having a bit of a reaction thinking about how painful that shit is to see something like that, to understand what it was that was destroyed. And you can call it black greatness, you can just call it self-determination if you want. That's what I see it as. It's just leave us alone, let us do our thing. And we were doing it, and they came and destroyed that shit. That's fucking triggering to me. More than anything. That's fucking triggering. So from there, you get the entrance of this show. And I'm not going to go through the whole show for you because I want people to actually see it. If you got HBO, check it out. If you don't, find a friend who has HBO and watch the shit. Because it will be, I'm thinking this season will be something that black folks actually need to see. So, this first scene is really surprising and one of the inversions that I'm talking about. And you get truck, fast forward to the modern day. It's not 1921 anymore. Now it's 2019, and this truck is speeding on this highway coming from the city that had been burnt down before. And you hear rap music blaring, and you look inside the truck, and it's a white guy in his truck. And then the lights come on. Cop pulls him over, and he pulls over, and the guy is nervous. Got his hands on the wheel and everything, and cop comes up and has a light shining in his face, and he can't see anything. All right. So, typical scene that would, even today, if that happened to me 5 minutes from now, I'd be pissed off and kind of nervy. Kind of. Right? And guy gives the cop a little bit of shit. He's trying to comply and do everything else, and he makes a crack about seeing the guy's face. And when they show the guy's face, it's a black officer with a mask over his face. Now, this is the part that's funny in this, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on in this WatchMen universe. Why the police officers are wearing masks, or what their whole deal is. And it's later revealed, but at this point you don't know. It just looks really strange. It just looks strange, though, unless you've seen recent pictures of police officers that are going in and, you know, for a shooter or whatever. They all got masks on their face. You don't know who the fuck these people are outside of their eyes, which to me reminds me of straight up a military zone and not, you know, civilian operations. That's just me, and I'm not a soldier. So you see that it's a black cop, and the juxtaposition here is that it's not a black man having this sweat fest when he gets pulled over by a cop. It's a white guy, and you get to see that, and the Caucasian audience gets to get a little feel of that, or to see what it's like, what that kind of feeling is, you know. So Cop gets his license registration, and he's seeing some stuff that's really suspect in his glove compartment. Obviously, that's the scary thing to do, which is let somebody go in their glove compartment. Goes back to his car, letting them know that it's, possibly terrorist activity, and this is the interesting thing of this. Cop doesn't actually have a gun. He has a gun that's in his car and locked in his car. And he has to get approval from HQ to actually unlock the damn gun. Which, with all the stuff that we have going on in our society right now, with all this gun violence and people wanting to make bullets harder to get and all the rest of that ridiculous shit, I can see this happening here. I can see this happening here in like 2-3 years if they really push for it. If stuff really popped off, I can see that happening. You can have some really ridiculously unarmed police officers like we in Europe or something like that needing approval to pull a weapon. But if they keep shooting people like they do, that's what the hell is going to happen. The body cam is going to be the least of their damn concerns. Right? So he's trying to get approval to get this gun unloosed in the fucking signal, Wi-Fi, I don't know what the hell they're using. Doesn't actually work. Doesn't work the 2 times they tried. On the 3rd time it works, and he gets the gun out because the cop believes it's a hostile situation. By the time he gets the gun out of the holster and he's going to get out the car, he gets lit the fuck up. The guy in the truck has gotten out, has a submachine gun, and let off right into the car and hits the cop. Okay. This is the screwed up part, because when you pan out of the car to look at the assailant, he's wearing a Rorschach mask with eye holes cut into it. And this is the part that's really creepy, right? Because it takes something from the original series, which is Rorschach's mask, which was something that criminals were supposed to be afraid of. You saw your worst fears. That was the whole Rorschach thing. You saw your own fear. You saw whatever you wanted to see, right? But it takes it and turns it into something that basically a terrorist is wearing. Or, as this guy is, kind of a white supremacist. And that's kind of fucked up for that character, because that character, that's not something he would have been into. But given the nature of this WatchMen universe story, I'm curious to see where they go with this. Because it just takes that character and turns it not from something that people think was cool to now this character may actually be the villain in all this. Or this visage of this character will be the villain in this. So that's kind of unnerving. Just not to spoil the rest of the show, I'm not going to do that, just to save a little bit of time and some editing. That leads into introducing Regina King and seeing that she is a cop who is not supposed to be a cop in the real world, right? She's not supposed to be a cop anymore. She's supposed to be a bakery owner. But she ain't baking bread, and she ain't making damn cookies. She out there kicking people ass and doing investigations, wearing these masks and stuff that police are allowed to wear. Whatever mask I guess they want to. There's a fucking dude with a panda bear on his head in the squad. It's like, he looks fucking ridiculous, but he's there. So you get the introduction of her character, who kicks ass. You get to see a couple of other notable stars in this, which I like, which is Don Johnson. I've liked Don Johnson since fucking Miami Vice. I'm an old cat, so that's just what the hell it is. You know, he's cool, and he's the police chief. You also get to see Louis Gossett Jr., who I haven't seen on film in a while. And as soon as I heard the voice, I'm like, that can't be him. But sure enough, that's who it was. So I'm happy to see him and see what role he's playing in this. The teller in this, it comes near the end for who his character is. But that was kind of a given who he was going to be. So it's not like it's a big mystery. But from there on, you get the understanding of this group, the 7th Cavalry, and how they are fighting against all this racial mixing and wanting black folks out of Tulsa and all the rest of the shit. So some white supremacist shit using a Rorschach mask. And automatically for me, it's like, fuck them. But I have to see how the story develops. Personally, I wouldn't give a shit. But this is a story. Let me see what story they're trying to tell me on this. Not going to spoil the end. And actually, I'm not going to say any more about this. Check out the movie. Check out the episode. It was very interesting. If you saw BGS's review of it, there is a lot of deep black symbolism in it. More so than I actually know. And I don't balk at that. There's a lot of shit I don't know, and I'm fine with that. That's what learning is about. But some of the stuff in it, I'm still tossing over in my head right now because I just watched it like a half hour ago, and it's still just, it's something. I got to see where they go with this story. I have to see where they go with this story. But that's it for now. It's just a reaction. I'll do more and be more in depth when I get to see the next episode and see what else they're doing. But I'm going to get out of here right now. It's late and it's been an early day. So like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below if you saw it, what you thought. I thought the music was awesome, but that's just me. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.